Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. Can we talk with Monique? I am Monique. Thank you so much for joining me today. And if you've been here before, thank you so much. And if you are a new subscriber, hey, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell and also the notification bell so you'll be notified of all my uploads. So let's talk about this. I know that Ernesto's case is coming up and I have this video and another video because I promised you guys a video on the Wade Ford and the connection with Erica King. But I had to do this today and this is a quick video. There was some really horrible charges, SA charges, and what is the other one? I think a CP charge that is alleged, but he's not been indicted for as it relates to Ernesto Williams. So I wanted to just bring you back to this, and this is from Chronicle Speaks channel. Going over and subscribe to her channel. I know there's been some things said or maybe indications that a lot of things went on that February, I think it was, I forget what day in February 2021. It was the same day that Erica King, aka April Holloway, and Mr. Ernesto were on a Zoom meeting, you know, as it relates to a case where she was representing as an attorney for Ernesto. And according to the documents, they were in the same location. And I think the police officers and law enforcement were able to piece together based on the Zoom video. And when they went to raid the house where they were, they could see that that's where Ernesto may have been sitting, maybe on a different floor in the house. I don't know, you know, maybe on a different level, but they were able to see that he was in that house. And accordingly, Erica King, aka April Holloway, was in that house as well, allegedly. And you know what? As it relates to technology, they probably were able to look at, people must understand, when you go and get internet, okay, you have a router box and that router box has an ID number, and then you have a URL which traces you back to your location, where you are, you know, your geographical location. So there's really, I mean, you can use a VPN, but they can override that as well. Okay, so they were able to see that they were in the same location. Maybe he had his phone with him and they were probably able to ping the phone off of the tower, the box that was in there, you know, your router box that has a number, all of those things, your cable box. So they were able to see that they were in the same location at the same time. But why I'm bringing this up is this is a video entitled in her playlist. It's called Ernesto's Bond Denied After Judge Finds Out Victim Allegedly Signed a Blood Oath and Victim's Grandmother Arrested. I don't know if it was the grandmother. I'm not really sure. It was the victim somebody. But here on this line right here on let's read it. It says, on October 3rd, 2021, Williams called, this is another alleged victim, okay, called and asked to meet with whoever the victim is. They met in the parking lot in Alpharetta on one of Williams's motor coaches. When the woman arrived, they've redacted her name. Williams was with a young female named Dominique, later identified as Alasia Alexander, who was his assistant but called his daughter. Okay, so the location of the Alpharetta locked parking lot. And remember, we saw that video where she said, I'm the queen of the South. And here comes Erica, you know, with her red jacket on and everything. They looked like the motor coach was parked there and it looked like it was a parking lot. And she said, I come, you know, I'm just paraphrasing. It went something like, you know, I'm here, you in the neck of my woods. You're in my, Erica was saying to Ernesto, you're in the neck of my woods. Meaning she, wherever her home was, you know, not too far, you know, that type of thing. And so y'all remember that video with the Queen of the South and she had her, you know, and he was like, yeah, my friend. Y'all know, I ain't even going back into that. But obviously there was a motor coach parked somewhere at some point in time, allegedly in Alpharetta. Okay, so now where am I going with this? Let's look at a map. Shall we? Now, on that day, okay, on that very day, Ernesto was either at the 980 or 990 Pine Grove Road address, where that Zoom meeting was taking place at approximately 1 o'clock. Because what had happened was Erica, aka April Holloway, logged in to her Zoom, and I think she forgot to change the name. So she logged in. The people in the court saw Erica King, and then she logged right back out. That was about between 12:50, 1 o'clock, but then she immediately logged back in, and the name changed to April Holloway. So let's just say the hearing started at 1 o'clock, 1 p.m., okay? I don't know how long the meeting went on for, or the Zoom meeting. Say if the Zoom meeting ended at 4 p.m., approximately. I don't think it took that long. But say, for instance, it started at 1 and ended at 4. Well, 980 Pine Grove Road and the Walmart is on Windward Parkway. Now, Pine Grove Road is in Roswell. Now, I don't know if people understand or know this, but Roswell, some parts of Roswell, Sandy Springs, is in Fulton County. And guess what? That Walmart is in Fulton County, North Fulton, okay? It's approximately 9.9 miles away. During the time right now with good traffic, you can get there in approximately 27 minutes. There are also back roads that you can take. You can take Georgia 400. So this is 980 Pine Grove Road right here. Zoom in the F-150 or whatever the car truck he was driving. I don't know. I'm just showing you. Because, yes, there's 24 hours in a day. But the location where they were filming, okay, doing the Zoom, is not very far away from the Walmart. If this is the said Walmart, I'm assuming this is the said Walmart at near 5200 Windward Parkway. So, unless it was another Walmart someplace else. But this is my assumption. It was this one here at 5200 Windward Parkway. So, even if they were started at 990 Pine Grove Drive, which is the house next door, they're both right next door to each other. There's back roads that you can take. I don't know if you notice, but this area right here is not too far from Georgia 400. You could take Georgia 400 north and just zoom. It's a 27-minute. This is by Google. So you, from the house where they were, where Mr. Ernesto Williams were, that was documented. And the bottom line is this, guys. There's so much technology. They may be able to, or maybe have information to show where his whereabouts were. I'm sure they have that because they have him on camera at one location. The young lady, whoever she is, said that same day at 6 p.m., one of these incidences occurred. So say, for instance, the Zoom meeting started at 1 p.m. Even if it ended at 5, it's 10 miles away. If you do back roads or even get on Georgia 400, it is a hop, skip, and a jump. It would not take that long to get from 980 Pine Grove Road to Windward Parkway, if that is the location of the Walmart where they were. I'm assuming it is. If it's not, somebody let me know and correct me. But I'm thinking this is the Walmart where this alleged incident happened. Now, if you know anything about Alpharetta, it's a well-off area. People have cameras all over the place. And if the popo and the cops really want to get to the bottom of, they already know where he was at 1 o'clock. All they have to do, really, people have what they call flock cameras. And a lot of neighborhoods throughout Georgia have flock cameras. Actually, in my old neighborhood, in my current neighborhood, they have flock cameras. And the flock cameras, they've used this to solve crimes, horrendous crimes all throughout Georgia, real time. The flock cameras take pictures of license plates and they send them directly to the police department. So they know who's coming in and out, And some people in certain communities, through the homeowners association and through, the neighborhood watch, you can see who's coming in and out of your neighborhood. They take pictures of the car and the license plate. All they have, and in Alpharetta, people have Ring cameras. All they got to do is go up and down the street, a path that the person would have took, close to the Walmart, if there's any residential areas, and request that footage, and they be able to see, okay, yes, we did see a car resembling one that Mr. Williams may have driven, and we see it at this particular location at this time, to piece together whether or not that young lady's story, even the young lady who said it occurred starting at 6 p.m. on that same day when, they were having a Zoom meeting, till the next day. So they should be able to piece that together. But what I was trying to show here is that the 980 Pine Grove Road is in Roswell. Some parts of Roswell are considered Fulton County. Alpharetta is considered, some parts are considered North Fulton too. So it's a 10-mile drive if this is indeed the location where the alleged incidents took place and where the RV was parked. Because see, the RV had to be parked somewhere. He didn't drive the RV from what I understand. Okay, I'm thinking the RV was parked. This is just my thought process. The RV was already parked there. I'm thinking he took another vehicle or another car and drove up back to the RV. That's what I'm assuming. But they do know his whereabouts based on that Zoom meeting and the time. I don't know what time the Zoom meeting stopped. I know it started around 1-ish. Even if it ended at 5, would still give enough time, in my opinion, depending on traffic that day, and they can go and look and see what the traffic was. They have all means to do this. They can ping telephones from where the telephone was, his cell phone on his person that particular day, okay, at 980 Pine Grove Road. And if in fact he drove to that RV where that young lady said the incident happened, they'd be able to ping it. So the stories would match. So there's 24 hours in a day, but based on this information here, it would leave enough time for someone to leave the Pine Grove Road residence and mosey their way up to Wynwood Parkway. If that is indeed the Walmart, I am not sure. Please correct me if you know down below. So guys, I'm just trying to show that yes, I don't know what time that Zoom call ended at when Erica was pretending to be an attorney, Mr. Williams' attorney. Nobody's disputing that because they have that actual documentation. And that's what they were able to use to convict Erica King on some of these charges. Well, not convict her, but to charge her with. I don't know if she's been indicted on them. So I'm just showing that there may have been enough time. It wasn't like far off distance. Roswell, in some parts of Roswell, are Sandy Springs. Those are some of those addresses are considered Fulton County. So that's why some of the addresses are, depends on how far you go over. Some can be Cobb, and when you go further, it could be the Roswell, the city of Roswell. But then, but Roswell, if I'm not mistaken, it's the city of Roswell. The county, I think, is Fulton. So maybe that's why those cases ended up in Fulton County versus Roswell, because that is the jurisdiction, if I'm not mistaken, for Roswell. And then some of Alpharetta might be in Cumming, but then there might be some that is considered North Fulton. So it just depends on some of those areas up there where the lines cross and where the lines stop. Some might be Fulton, North Fulton. It might be different jurisdictions, but I think they, I heard somebody saying, why wasn't it Roswell and why was it Fulton County? I think it was because of the jurisdiction of where it was at. Okay. And I think some of Roswell is in Fulton County, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm thinking some of Roswell, Georgia is in the county of Fulton, and that's where they would, that's where that case would go, to Fulton County, which that's where it was. And but somehow or another he ended up in Cobb. They transferred him. So anyway, guys, does this make sense? I was showing that, it's not such a far distance from 980 where they were filming the Zoom meeting. And like I said, I have no idea what time that Zoom meeting ended. If it ended at 5 p.m., if it started at 1 and ended at 5, there was, to me, in my opinion, time to get, the young lady said it occurred at 6 p.m. That gives more than enough time, especially if you know back roads and stuff. And Georgia 400 is not far from there. It's not a long distance. It's 9.9 miles. So you can travel that distance in maybe 30 minutes. Okay, give it traffic. Maybe 30 minutes, 9 miles, in about 30 minutes. Okay, 10 miles within about 30 minutes. So let me know what you think. And if you have any knowledge of the counties, let me know. I'm not 100% sure, but I am thinking that some of Alpharetta is in, I don't know, is it in, I think some of Alpharetta, I know Buckhead is Fulton, and I think some of Alpharetta is considered Fulton. I'm not sure, but Roswell, those areas over there, some of those those lines of what county you're in cross, but it wasn't a far distance. There's 24 hours in a day, but even if the Zoom meeting ended, I don't know what time. If you guys know what time the Zoom meeting ended, let me know. If the Zoom meeting even ended at 5, it still would be enough time to get up there to where that location by 6 p.m. But say, for instance, the Zoom meeting ended at 3. You still got a whole 3 hours to get 20 minutes away. If in fact that's the Walmart off of Windward Parkway in Alpharetta. And if it is, it's only 9.9 miles away from the address where they were having the Zoom meeting at. So I'm just pointing out what I see, and I could be wrong. But again, February 5th, they're going to have a hearing. And guys, it is very easy, in my opinion, for the popo to figure out where he went after that particular Zoom meeting, because he had his cell phone on him. So the phone would ping where he was. They already know his location. Think about it. They know the location where he was sitting during that Zoom meeting. It was right in the same vicinity with Erica. And I'm sure they know where he went thereafter. And if it matches up with him leaving there and heading up to Windward Parkway, where this young lady says this situation occurred at 6 p.m., that kind of matches up. Now, do they need her testimony? I don't know how this works. I know in domestic violence cases, sometimes a woman will say something happened and then renege on the story because they either are trauma bonded, they don't want to, they've been threatened, or they just go back to whoever the abuse started with. And the prosecution, the state can prosecute without the person. I don't know if this is the same in these type of SA cases. I don't know, because I don't know the law. But I'm just trying to show y'all something, what I see and my assessment. Let me know what you think. Do you guys want to know when that Zoom meeting ended? What time? Okay. Do you know what time that Zoom meeting ended? I don't have that information. I don't have that documentation. 2, is that the Walmart off of Windward Parkway in Alpharetta? Because if it is, it's only 9.9 miles away, and it would take, even in traffic, only 30 minutes to get there. So let me know what you think about what I'm talking about. I got one more video to bring to you about the way forward there in Smyrna. And then, I'll start doing some videos on soul ties. I know y'all saying, what is she talking about? Well, child, there's a whole lot of soul ties going on with these videos and with this whole situation. Okay. And it's just my belief, y'all. We could talk about the information and the facts, and I wanted to try to bring you some of the information of what I know. And I do glean a lot of this from other content creators. However, I look at things from a spiritual standpoint, and definitely I see the manifestation of a lot of things when you get involved with certain individuals, or it's a mess. This case has so many layers to it, but spiritually, I will tell you, it's not a good thing. So guys, let me know what you think about what I'm saying here. Like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, and that way you'll be notified. Comment down below. Do you think it was enough time for Ernesto to get from the 980, the area where they were filming the Zoom that day, to get to the location at the Walmart, back to the RV or whatever was parked there? Let me know what you think. All right, y'all. I'll see you on the next upload. Peace, and I'm out.